Hello. Looks looks a bit different. Although this is stating episode one, this is actually a continuation of the EA Green Gump series. As you can see, they are in League in there. Um, Obviously, what's happened is I am now the manager of Marseille. Um, Basically, I finished this season with Gingham. Let's just click on this there. We ended up getting promoted by winning the league title at a canter. The changes that we made to the team were just above and beyond what you'd expect. You can see the league in first. Competition did not complete. That it did. We won the we won the trophy. If we click on it here, it should. There you go. On League Day 2022. That was us. And yeah, the people that we brought in actually did very well. The team itself was performing very well. Um, and it all just sort of clicked into place, and we smashed it and got promoted. I was preparing for the pre-season, getting ready and whatnot, and this save was never going to be a one club save if need be. The whole point was to sort of just play the game in France and try and overtake PSG. And I would have liked to have done it with Gingamp, but Marseille came in. They were in a bit of a free fall. They didn't qualify for any European competition, and Vias Boas got sacked. The squad's a bit of a mess, and they came in for me, and I just took it. I'm just going to show you this. You can see the transfers in and out. The club itself, I don't know if I'll be able to show you it, but it's just no, I can't even show you it now. It's just absolutely pissing money. I was having to constantly sell just to try and recoup something. You can see there all these people on a free are people that we found using the Monchi method, um, which is where you sort of net trace players. You check their availability with the agent. You check everything, literally everything, um, which was the whole point of the series. And yeah, I mean, look, there's Fran. He was one of the better performers. He ends up having to go. He was kicking off. There was a few people kicking off about the quality of the coaching staff and whatnot. And they'll do very well to stay in league. And I thought we'd outgrown them. Um, and we've come into Marseille. You can see there's a lot of promises from Frank McCourt, who is the president. Um, Got to keep the director of football in place, but that's fine because I will show you for why. Is that he's absolutely fantastic, and obviously this method of what we're doing is about the director of football. Um, See him here: 20 ability, 20 potential, 40 negotiating with a professional personality. He's also got 18 working with youngsters, so we've got him bringing the youth players through. He's actually their president in real life now because the club is in such a state. Um, so it's a massive club. We've gone from 2,000 fans in a 19,000 seater stadium to, I think the Stade Velodrome's like a 60,000 seater stadium, if I'm not mistaken, 67,000. Um, the, the it's just mad. It's just such a big jump, but it's something that we've taken on, and we're going to take it from there. What I'm going to show you then is first of all the squad. If we click on you can see it's not a very big squad. I've had to trim it. Tactics wise, we never sort of stick to one particular tactic. If need, you know, it's not a plug and play game. However, the players at disposable at the squad were very much in keeping with the 4-3-3 that I like to play. Um, let's just pick without restriction. Pick best 11. No, that's not true. This is how we are to line up. Not Marasic either. Streetman. Vera Rongler. That is also a no. That is. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. Got Danjuma there. We play Tovan as a winger, and I'll show you why now because we've got Juan Mata. Was Monchi The box to box. I can't remember who our box to box is. Monchi's go through box to box. I can't remember who it is. Is it Papa Gay? Oh, we're off to a flyer. Anyway, this is how we line up. It's still attacking because the board's on attacking football. We don't want to dribble less. We want to run a defence, be more expressive, and the rest of it stays as standard. The goalkeeper is Steve Mandanda. He's good with his feet, but we just tell him to distribute to the fullbacks some more because we like to build from the back. We've got two good ball playing defenders, high line of engagement, and more urgent. Basically, when I come in, the club it's in a bit of a state still, to be completely honest with you. You look at the transfer history. Um, Last season, so this is the season I was still at Gingamp. Have a little look at who they got rid of. So they lost Maxime Lopez to Sassuolo. I actually quite like him. I was scouting him at Gingamp, but he ultimately chose Sassuolo. Who else? We lost Dario Benedetto. And Dimitri Payet went on a very, very low transfer fee, but you can see physically he's probably not up to it now. And Leo Jardim, the backup Brazilian goalkeeper, and they brought in a few people. Liverlamp from us at the time, a couple of frees who I think I've sent these out on loan now. Yeah, Tiro and Sana Fai, both out on loan. This guy, Fusto Vera, very good player, but they were sort of overloaded for deep lying playmakers in the middle. Back up left back, they got Juan Mata in on a free transfer, who we've kept around, despite the fact that his physicals are rapidly declining. They brought in Diego Costa. You can see I've moved them on. Just although it would have been fun, he was kicking off because he didn't think I was qualified enough for the job. Endo from Stuttgart, very good, very experienced Japanese international. He's going to be one of the ball winning midfielders. Alejandro Pezrello, luckily he's not on a massive wage, but he's valued quite highly. I'm tempted to play him as a box to box. I think he's definitely got the stats for it, but other than that, he's 30 years of age, and I kind of want rid of him. Modarame, amazing player on this game. We just need to get some of these traits. He's got runs with ball often, but we're going to play him as a centre forward. So his finishing's not great, so we're trading him to round the goalkeeper, and then we want to train him to run in the middle of the pitch, so we can literally just play in between the posts. Arnaut Danjuma, they agreed a future fee with him, and it was like 16 million, I think. And this guy, Kalidou Sidibe, this guy's an absolute behemoth. 23-year-old Malian. He's 6'7", and he's actually quite quick. He's going to be on the backups as well. So leads us on to me coming in now. You can say I ended up getting £18.5 million worth in for players, including 10 million for Jordan Amavi, and then just a couple of little, just thinning the squad really. They just had so many players like Alvaro, 32, George Miron, 28, never going to really do anything. Jeremy Liverlamp we got rid of because he's just not good enough for this division. Diego Costa, as I said earlier, so on. And these are the guys that were brought in. You see Danjuma came in for 15 million. Aruna Sangante was already agreed, as was Adam Murisic. And then we did our favourite international scouting for free transfers, and we came up with this guy, David Binyus. He's a Portuguese under-21 international who was released by Porto. He's gone out on loan to Paderborn in the Bundesliga. Then there was these two guys as well, just a couple of Africans. The border go on about signing African players, so I thought, well, let's have a little look. And these guys were performing very well for their national teams. You can see they're not expected to do much, impact sub and whatnot. But like this guy is like the most physical player I've seen at the club, or any club really. Mentally and technically, he's pretty garbage, but he's only really going to come on at the end of games just to run people ragged. Monchi came in from Barcelona. He was a deep lying playmaker cover. Um, we were expected to lose a couple of more players, but those transfers didn't go through. We also brought in Emerson and Malang Sarr on loan. Malang Sarr and Gideon Mensah are going to be the two left backs alternating because Amavi's gone, and then we brought in Matty Phaeton. The fans were kicking off, and the board didn't seem too happy with it. But we needed a backup striker, and I know Matty Phaeton can perform. We identified it in the last video that if you create the quality of chance, then Phaeton can finish them. And I think with the team that we've got, we can definitely create the quality of chance that's needed. Um, but I mean, you can see it's quite thin on the ground. I'm trying to wrap my brain. Was it Rongala? Yeah, it was. Rongier was going to be the. Actually, no, he was going to be the DLP. And Vera maybe is the box to box. I can't remember. It was one of the two. But now looking at it, I'm thinking. I'm thinking Pezrello. But yeah, I know it's a bit of a random, but a bit out of the blue. But this is how we're going to do it. We've set Pablo Longoria to initiate signings for first team, B team, and under 19 players. We've also got him doing contracts and whatnot. We are also really expecting him to bring the youth players too because he's got a good personality. Although we did bring in Christian Speakman from Birmingham. I'm pretty sure everyone knows at this point he's a very good head of youth development. I'm going to give him like a year to settle in to France and then maybe put him back in charge because then he'll have a better understanding of where these players are coming from and so on and whatnot. It just feels a bit weird, like restarting the save again. But we've sort of made our bed. We're gonna lie in it. I'm just really concerned now that Rongier can't play box to box because he's not that aggressive. But his positioning and his off the ball are both pretty much the same. Anticipation's good. He was a £30 million transfer target for Fiorentina. He turned them down. We also had Boubacar Camara was really wanted by Gangju Evergrande. And I just set his asking price to like 25 million, and they bid it straight away. So I just kept upping it, and I've ended up settling on 50 million pounds. They were actually willing to pay that, and he turned them down. Which he's a fantastic defender, so it's not the end of the world. You can see there you go. He rejected the contract offer from them. Um, but since then, what we've had to do, we need to sort the scouting out. For this Monchi method to work, we need a lot of net tracking to go in place. So what I do, as I've explained in previous videos, is we send scouts out to the leagues that are either classed as better than the league we're currently in, or just below. And then I've got one guy in Morgan Boulier just scouting the world, basically. We do it from June to December, and then from January, at the start of January, up until um, the end of the season, basically, we just whittle down those targets. So we just need to find a big pool of players as fast as possible. See, like Premier League, the only problem with the Premier League players is that their wages are going to be absolutely astronomical. And on that list, there's only interested in the transfer. Four interested in the transfer. Dennis Pratt, though, could be a good player. You can see that he's on 75 grand a week, and again, it's a DLP. We don't really need that, and we need to sort of cultivate a culture at the club now where, although in real life Sevilla will bring people in of an older age, you look at like Jesus Navas. More recently, they've replaced Ever Banega with Papu Gomez. We can delve into the 30s and so as such, I don't actually tell them to look for anything in particular. I just go, you go there for 6 months and you find me any single player within the 6 month period, and we take it from there. Basically, we then add them to a shortlist, and then we whittle it down. As you can see, the scouting team was very good anyway. I brought Eddie Mesta and Gerardo Torrado over with me. Other than that, all these other guys are already at the club. I'm interested to see who he's found. Benjamin Beauregard again, DLP. We don't need. Yeah, that's how that's how we do it. For those who don't know, to find out which leagues are in and around or better than you, the league that you're currently in, if you just click on the league that you're actually playing in, and you'll find the competition reputation there. So we've got one Portugal, Russia, one in Holland, one in the Bundesliga, one in the Premier League, and then we've just sent one out to League In as well, just to see what we can find. Interestingly enough, you might have noticed in the top right hand corner there is that Leon actually managed to break PSG's chokehold and win the league title last year. If you have a little look at their squad, they've not necessarily improved all that much. Marcus Edwards has come in. He's just a joke of a player on this game. If you've not used him, like every single save, he turns out amazing. And this guy as well, Barrow. I think it's just a case of Leon have got some very, very, very fast players. Fedor Chalov, I can see on the bench there. Bruno Gomaresh, Jeff Van Adelaide, Damari Gray. There's just so many players that they've got that have got pure pace. Denier at the back as well. And yeah, so they've broke the chokehold, which was obviously one of our targets. Which it was never really that doable, in all honesty. But it would have been nice to have done it. Obviously, that's not gonna happen now. So our next target is to be the first French team since Marseille to win a European trophy. We are now Marseille, so it's now to be the first French, or well, just first French team since Marseille to win a European trophy. We're going to try and do it as Marseille. And yeah, there's not really much more I can show you than this. We've got a game coming up in a couple of days, so I'm just going to live com that as against Stade Brest. You'll basically see firsthand what I'm seeing. I've got like all my set pieces. My defensive one's still not set up, but my attack one is, and so on and so forth, captains and whatnot. We're gonna have to learn a new team and learn it well, and see if we can use this Monchi method to cultivate the club. Basically, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot that needs changing. In particular, backup goalkeeper. You've seen the Brazilian guy that they sold last season for pretty much nothing, and then it's this guy on the bench. I mean, he's from the academy, Cameroonian international. Not amazing, but not bad. Other than that, there's not a lot of depth. I mean, you can see I've got 3 loan players there, and without them, you may be looking at maybe a 24, 25 man squad, but no one with real depth, and we're still trying to move people out on loan. So yeah, I'm gonna go up to the game against Brest now, and we're just gonna live come a game. There's not much more we can do, unfortunately. Just quickly before we crack on with the game, part of the sort of this method of playing football manager as we do is obviously looking at statistics and whatnot, and looking at players that are undervalued. What we've decided we're going to do as of this season with Marseille. Um, we've not got an awful lot of money. Obviously, we were trying to do this anyway with Gingham, but I just don't think financially they'll be able to compete at all. What we are going to try and do is look for undervalued players within sort of the top divisions. So what we've done is we've gone on the player search and the scouting tab and look for player search, and we've quite simply just looked for transfer listed players in the top, well, in this division. If we do it by player value, you can see there's a few decent players. Martin Terrier, good little winger. Jonathan Bamba, of course, who, um, in all honesty, will probably add a lot to our team. This is why I do these things live. I sort of get these ideas in my head as I'm going along. Um, Reports, assigned scout, Paulo Longoria, or Pablo Longoria. So we send him out because obviously he's 20 and 20, and this is how we're going to get like an idea. Normally, because it's the scouts who find all the ones in normal scouting, I'd then send Pablo, or I'm planning to send Pablo Longoria to look at them himself over a prolonged period of time. So normally I'll do that from between like January and maybe the end of Feb, so we get like a couple of months of watching them. Um, you look at Jonathan Bamber. He's level-headed. He's really fast. He's agile. He's quick. Um, how much did he want for him? They want £2.9 million for him. He is a player who, in real life, has done very well at Lille. I mean, we're talking about undervalued players. They want 2.9 million. I'm gonna be cheeky. No, let's just give them the 2.9. 2.8. Oh, 2.9. There you go. So we're just gonna drop a little 2.9 on him. And sort of take it from there. You might have noticed in like an earlier screen it said about McTominay. He was transfer listed at Man United, oddly enough. But he is the Premier League players' wages are just astronomical. And as I say, yeah, I mean, we still want guys who fit the DNA and sort of fit what we're trying to do. Um, Personally, I'd love if there was a goalkeeper on here that's fairly decent, but I don't think there is one just on face value of it. And no, there's not. I mean, Otavio as well. He's normally a good little player. Good defensive midfielder, good mark and pass and tackle and technique. Quite aggressive. 6.25 do you want for him? 7 mil. We did have a little look at Yusuf Kone. He's fairly cheap as well. But we decided not to go for him in the end. And then we just take it from there. So literally change it up. Let's say Germany, Bundesliga, a league that's better than the league we're in. Again, we do it so it's to make sure that they're interested in coming to us, because if they're not interested, there's literally no point. I always do it as unsure, because sometimes money talks, or you can have a little conversation with them and persuade them, sort of like it would be in real life. I mean, obviously, I'm an Everton fan. I don't think James Rodriguez would ever have signed for us if Ancelotti wasn't manager. So you can have a lot of sway as a manager. So that's the logic in doing it that way. Um, but again, Patrick Schick, good player. Do you want 5.5 million for him? He's a very good striker on this game. Really, again, so this is how we're looking at the undervalued players. Luca Klosterman, um, again, Conrad Lima, he's another good player. £5 million for him. 25 years of age, born in midfielder, will fit perfectly in our team. Perfectionist. Apart from the fact he gets forward, which we don't like. um, there are some good players knocking about. Patsienda, he's a good player. Maximo Wuja turns out quite good on this game, but whether he's done so well at Stuttgart recently, he's okay. He's okay. He's not grown that well. Daily Sinkgraven, an excellent left back, 1.2 million. So it's definitely something that we're gonna go down. Where do we start telling Florian Wirtz transfer listed? Okay. Hmm. Yeah, whether this is something that we're gonna go down, I don't know, but we'll have to see. Um, I definitely want to do it this way, but whether we send scouts looking for transfer listed players or not is a bit different. Obviously, a player can become transfer listed and then decide afterwards that he wants to stay, and that can be a whole thing. Um, I'm just looking. Patrick Schick didn't do that well at Leverkusen last season on this. But did they pay big money for him? 23 million. He scored 6 goals in 2 seasons. But as an advanced forward, he's got everything that you want, really. His decisions aren't great, but his off the ball work rate, anticipation, composure, his finishing technique, he's fast. Uh, 5.5, and he had done 56 grand. which is not bad because we've got Diego Costa was on like 87 grand a week or something daft like that. Um, if we just compare him to Mohamed Darami, the two very different players, but you can see attribute wise, it's quite close. Obviously, they offer different things. Um, if anything, Schick's actually a better striker, and Darami is probably a better winger. Which, if you click on Mo Darami, I think it actually does say that his best position is, inverted winger attack. That's just giving me something to think of there with Patrick Schick. I'm gonna go for that. How much did they want? 5.5. I'll pay 5.5. I'm happy with that. We were going to bring Roca in from Gingham. He destroyed people for me last year. But now we found Patrick. I think we go for him and maybe not try and dwell too much on the past. I know I did bring Matty Phaeton in, but he was more so to provide backup to this guy, this Kikas guy. He scored 9 and 33 since signing, relatively low from Gumares. It looks like he's playing for there. Um, but I'm gonna pop him out on loan, especially if we get Schick in. I'm not bothered about the wages and that. We've got enough money to cover it. Then Phaeton can be the third choice. Darame then can cover the wings. Potentially, then it would mean that Mata doesn't play as often, and Tovan can play his natural position as an inverted winger, and Darame can too, and then we can push it all up together up the pitch. We've also got Danjuma. Yeah, I think we're going for that. We'll see if he comes in. It's match day. Sadly, it's not at the Velodrome, but we are in telly. We have been focused, and we'll be keeping an eye on how Gingham do. I don't see it going very, very well for them. Um, Sadly, um, I'm thinking because Schick hasn't signed yet, neither has Bamba. We might just go with Mata and play how we were intending to play anyway. Kamara's not going to Burnley, and definitely not for 15 million. Danjuma on Leon off to a flyer again. Hmm. Might even be Leon that we have to start knocking off the top. He wants us to go balance. That's not happening, but we will do that. The reason we're not going balanced is there was a lot of promises that I had to make the board to get the job in the first place. Dan Juma's not fully fit. Let's get Mata back in. Let's swap Tolan and Mata. There we go. And Rame up front. We need. Let's drop a swallow out for Gideon Mensah. And I'm happy with that. Yeah, and one of the promises was attacking football, which is something that I like to do anyway, so that's fine. Oh, those numbers are a mess, but let's play anyway. Um, that's something that I like doing as we go anyway, so we'll keep it going. You've seen it happen with Gingham. We literally very, very rarely deviated from playing attacking. Even when we went against the bigger sides, we just went sod it. We're going to go out at them, and it took us 2 seasons, but we completely changed the squad rounds, and we got ourselves promoted. So hopefully we can push on with Marseille, get some European football under our belts, and push on from there. Right. Be interesting to see how the computer handles the new stream and setup. Probably not very well. There's a reason I had to have it so low in the first place. But we got on the way with Mohamed Darami. It just looks so weird. I'm so used to seeing the what a ball matter. I'm so used to seeing the Gingham kits. They look so good in game, especially the away kit, the white one. But nice positive start. We've got a nice ball over the top. I think Mata's going to be one of those players that could either be really, really good or absolutely horrendous for us this season. I've got two league tables. Here's Emerson. Short to wrong here. One Mata. Emerson. Oh. I'm not normally one for the 3D, but the match engine this year is really good. It's just a shame that it doesn't show up as good on recordings. So annoying. So annoying. Don't think it's going to run all that well. Doesn't look like it's going particularly well. Can we change that one to fast stats? No, that's not what we want. That'll do. I normally leave it to about 18 minutes before we give a little shout. Just demand more from them. Because we've literally not touched the ball. They've had 69% possession. Wrong gear away. Here's Tovan. This is what we want on the break with the pace. If you can get it. Oh, he's gone. He's gone for it. And Calceta Car. Easy save. So they're saying Camera's got a tight thigh. We'll ignore it for now, but we'll keep an eye on that. Could be a hamstring injury, which obviously we don't want. So I was throwing. Out of the way. Tovan doesn't get there. That's a long ball which Mandanda should deal with. Still going, Steve Mandanda. Emerson to wrong yet. Emerson. Vera to Mata. Lovely ball again. Motorami. See, I feel as though, I don't know whether, because Mata's playing, that Vera's trying to get the ball to Mata quickly. Um, but something's just not quite clicking. He's played a few balls to the Rami, but he's not capitalised on them well. Vera doesn't seem to be having the greatest game either. Action zones wise, you can see a lot of our plays been down the left hand side, but Tovan's been having a shocker. So it's I'm a bit stumped as to what the issue is. We can it's the first live com I've done in about 3-4 episodes, and it's not gone very well. I think we definitely need to address Vera and Tovan. Far from pleased. If we drop Durame to an inverted player, inverted winger on attack, Vera's not played well. Let's get Monchi in for Vera. And I'm going to bring Mata off purely because his physicals aren't great, and we're gonna go for it and bring Matthew Fayton into the fold. It's saying he's a 1.5 star. He's not a 1.5 star. He's not, you know, he's not that bad. That's a bit unfair. Um, and yeah, we see it wouldn't be the best to start with it. Let's be honest, but again, it's another club we've had to come into and just gut the squads because it's just not up to the standard that it should be, and I think that's the biggest issue. Is I don't like doing it. It's not the best to have a massive overhaul, but all the staff left, so I had to bring in all new staff, all new. There was a couple of scouts left over. That was it. And the playing squad wasn't amazing, so we've had to overhaul. So we're gonna have to. It might be slow, but I still think at least Europa League could be on the cards if we play our cards right. But here's Matthias Fayton, who's given it straight away on his first touch of the ball. Mauro Junior, good tackle, Emerson. Good defender, mate. Keep it alive. Good lad. Strootman to Monchi. Tovan. Mm, good tackle, Monchi. Now here's Mohamed Darame. Fighting Darame. Oh, good little one too, though. I like that. I don't know if he's just struggling or whether he's just. Yeah, I think it might be that. Really, he's not the best. Um, we'll see. Here's Darame. What a run, mate. Oh my days. What a run that is. I'm gonna bring Sarah for Gideon Mensah. I think he's struggling early, and that they're gonna start targeting that. And we're gonna drop Tovan down to inverted winger support. I think he's just running a bit too much with the ball, rather than getting balls into the danger zone. There's Emerson, Strootman, Rongier, and Darame's in again. Oh, Darame, he's getting in. He's getting in quite often. Rongier, out of the way. Gideon Mensah. Get it away, get it away. Harry, lovely delivery away by Emerson again. He's had a good game, Emerson. Win it, yes. And we know Darame loves a good run at goal. Get it across. He's still going. Oh, mm, he loves it. I think his finishing's not the best, but his technique's good. So I might get him to start curling the ball or placing his shots. I think that might be the key to unlocking Darame on the wing. We've got another corner. And Cal has got that. Set pieces on this game are very similar to what they used to be back in the day, back on like FM12 when you could get Eder Alvarez Balanta and he'd score 20 goals a season. Literally just near post. You put your two centre backs or your two best headers of the ball near post, and one of them gets on the end of it 9 times out of 10. We saw a Gingomp with or Guingomp with Otto, he was scoring like 7 to 10 goals a season. But we've absolutely battered these, so I'm glad we got that goal. Just if there's just a few worrying things up front that aren't clicking just yet. I think Darama getting in behind when Mata's playing is good. So I think we know if we're playing Mata, if we play a pacey forward, he will unlock the door and get him through. Um, Tovan's been quite wasteful today, so I'm not quite sure how to mess around with his role for that, and that's cleared away. And Darame, I think if his finishing was a little bit better, um, then he'd be a bit more dangerous cutting in from that wing. It's Tovan again, and Calceta, and it's saved by Larsonnier. Just giving it straight back. There's Flute to Van, Strootman. Good play. Here's Gideon Mensah. Good delivery to Rami. Oh. Yeah, he's definitely better on the wing when he's got room to spread his legs and spread his legs, stretch his legs, and get a run off. We absolutely dominated these. I think 1-0 is a bit unfair. Drilling down and seeing the actual stats would be quite interesting, but it's something I'll do off camera and keep an eye on. I want to know what was here before the visualizer, because it can't be match stats. Well, we'll have their formation just to see if anything changes, but we don't adapt all that often. We play our game and make people adapt to us. That's the way I think it should be. I think once we started getting more of the ball, that's when this started going up. But I think they were literally just damage control. It was just keep the ball and don't let us have it. As it's headed away again, Durami will pick it up. Camera. What a... Tovan pulls it back. Oh, I thought Phaeton was getting one. Kamara to Mensah. Wrong, yeah. Slips it through to Modarami. Just couldn't control it. Yeah, I think just based on the viewing of it as a winger, he's going to be a lot more dangerous. As I say, it's just how we maximise on him, on the way his final ball, whether it's an actual shot or a cross. I'm not too sure how we go about that, but again, it's a new team. We're going to have to get used to the players. As Rongier picks it off and finds Matthias Phaeton. Matthias Phaeton! Yes! Oh, he's one of them players that he just performs well. Like I said at the start of the video, yeah, if you give him a quality chance, he finishes it. He's got the attributes, and that's a quality chance. He's 1-on-1. It's a first time shot, and he's bagged it. He's got the attributes. He runs with the ball through the centre. He beats the offside trap, and he hits his shots first time. Like he's literally what you want as like a poacher or an advance forward. I'm made up. He scored. Who needs Patrick Schick? Eh? I need Patrick Schick. Please don't turn me down, Patrick. Please don't turn me down. the It's a good win. I think 2-0's. We're knocking it about so well. I think 2-0's a bit flattering on for Stade Brest, to be honest, because they did nothing, literally nothing in that game. I'm gonna have to do the post match as well, and that's another one of the board promises that I'll speak to the media because my media control is awful. But I think everyone's like that on that game. Let me know if you actually sit there and go through the press conferences and that. You're a better man than I, because I can't stand doing it. It's so tedious. I wouldn't mind if it was changed up a bit, but the questions are literally the same every single time, and it's just too much. But yeah, a good win, a nice 2-0 victory. My guy, Matthias, God, Robbie Fowler of the French League, getting in on the act. It was a great match. Everything went according to plan. Superb defensively, and we didn't allow a shot on goal. I think that was more because Stade Brest were awful, to be completely honest with you. But that's a very, very good start. It looks as though Guingamp haven't played yet. Oh, yeah, they play 9 o'clock, don't they? But yeah, we're going to leave it there. Obviously, it's not the episode I thought I was going to be bringing you with, drilling down for transfers and whatnot. Um, but it's a kick-off of a new season with a new team, with one of the best directors of football in the game, and that's, we're trying to implement the director of football strategy into a club to take them to the very, very top. But yeah, I've been Matt. Thanks for watching, and as always, take care.